Hello, I'm Aloysius. I'm the owner of Haunted Harbor Tours, and I am here to wish you a happy Lumera. You might be wondering, what is Lumera? Well, if I were to ask you, if you know of any fantastic pagan holiday that celebrates the dead and celebrates the passing of souls over the last year and sends them off into the afterlife, you would probably say yes, it's called Samhain. Or, if you're not too familiar with pagan holidays, you'd probably call it Halloween. But good news! I'm posting this video on May 11th, and on May 11th, we are in the exact middle of a Roman Halloween. That's right, Luminera is a 3-day holiday. Really? It's a 5-day holiday because it goes on the 9th, on the 11th, and the final day of Luminera is on the 13th of May, which is interesting, isn't it? This is the 13th. If you take those numbers and turn them around, you get 31. And if you were to go exactly half a year from May, you get October. So this is literally Halloween. It's like Christmas in July. I find it fantastic. I'm just so excited to have a second Halloween. We need to start celebrating this, y'all. So, 5 days for a 3-day festival. I guess they partied so hard during Luminera that they needed to take a day off. And it is all dedicated to not just all spooky things, but specifically to the dead. So the Romans believed in several different kinds of ghosts, which I imagine it's not very different from the different types of ghosts that I've observed ghost hunting. You have the Lemuries, which I would compare to that of the shadows that haunt. The kind that push you into walls and that have died violent deaths. All of the shadows that I've encountered tend to have either committed murders, done something violent, or had horrible violence put upon them in their final moments. Now, that's not to say I can't guarantee that, there's a difference between a ghost of shadow and a ghost that tends to turn out lights. We really don't know. How can we? But the Lemuries are ghosts that have died violently. There's a lot of indication that was one of the major primary things of creating a Lemury is a person who died of murder. B, a wicked person, somebody who's been incredibly violent. Finally, to the Romans, the worst thing that could happen is that you die without laying ancestry and leaving a family behind. If you die with no living relatives, you become a Lemury as well. It did also include the ancestral ghosts. There was a separate February festival for the ancestors who passed. The ancestors were called Manes. Now, Manes were good ghosts, essentially. They were kind ghosts. They were also godlike. It seemed as though, to the Romans, there may have even been a path to godhood, so you could join the actual gods if you lived a good life and you had a large family and you had people to honor you. It seemed as though the Manes were kind of almost a path to godhood. If you had enough people honoring you, that you would ascend into a higher realm. It makes a lot of sense, right? Like a Caesar, who was a good Caesar, could potentially become a Mane that people would respect and that people would want to call upon often. Speaking of Caesar, the origin of Lemus may have come from the two founders of Rome. I'm sure if you're super familiar with the Roman origin, the myth of the creation of Rome, there were these two brothers, twins, who were somehow descended from wolves, Romulus and Remus. And Romulus murdered Remus. And Remus began haunting Romulus, kicking shit around his house. He was like flipping tables saying, "You bastard, you murdered me. You're my own brother and you murdered me, and now I'm not at rest. Now I can't relax. Now I'm a freaking luminary." And now I'm a freaking lemur. I'm a freaking lemurus. Now I'm a freaking lemurus, and apparently Lemuris is a word originating from Remus, which makes sense to an extent. But he says, you put me to rest. You make a festival for me and my soul and all the other souls like me who died of murder, and I'll move on. Like, I can pass on, but not until you create this festival. So for the celebration of the dead, there were no knots present. Knots were not allowed. And this is because it binds and it holds, a knot is something to tie something down, and you're supposed to be sending these spirits off. And so you make sure there are no knots present in any of the Lemuria celebrations. You would first clean yourself, and then you would have black beans. You'd put them into your mouth and you would begin to spit them around. The lemurs, Lemuras, whatever, would come and collect these, and then they would be able to pass on. This is, you'd spit them all over your house, and they pretty much equivalent way that most people use sage, bundles of sage, to remove ghosts from your house by following the walls. The Romans were doing essentially the same thing, but with black beans. Then you would call the mains, right? On the third day, you'd bang bronze, and you would start yelling, ghosts of my ancestors, ghosts of my fathers, go forth, chase them away. And the good ghosts, the mains, would come and whoosh, rip them away to the afterlife and kick them out. Pretty fun. Sounds like a pretty fun holiday. Like, just spitting black beans at ghosts and asking your ancestors to chase off the evil spirits. I personally like having evil spirits around, right? They give me something to investigate. I ain't trying to sage nothing, right? I use this when somebody really needs it. It's not for my personal use. I like having them around. I think I like it a lot because it's so focused on ghosts. It doesn't, no Draculas, no zombies, nothing. It's not even the witches. I personally, on Halloween, on my ghost tours, I tend to focus more on the witches than I do the ghosts, because, that's to me what Halloween is. It's the celebration of Celtic paganism, which were horribly killed in witch trials. So for me, Halloween is more of a celebration of witch. And I like Luminera to be the ghost holiday. I think I might actually, next year, I might do something fun for it. I don't know, something fun with Haunted Harbor Tours, like a promotion, maybe hold my own festival. I'm not really sure what, maybe I'll just have a bunch of people go around spitting black beans at people they don't like. I'll figure it out. I don't know what. Anyway, guys, I'm sorry that I haven't posted in a while. I did make a video just the other day. It's kind of my video page. When you go in and you look at the other videos that I've made, you'll hear me talk. It's really for my website, just to get people to book tours. You should come to the city of Annapolis. You should book a tour. There's a link in the description below. And while I'm talking about the things that are below, you could click the subscribe button and you could ring the bells. Now, I'm signing out, and to do so, I'm going to tell you that this video right here is one that the YouTube algorithm thinks you're going to enjoy. And this one right here is one that I most recently uploaded, I think. Although, because I just uploaded a basically boring video that explains what my ghost tour is, I think this one will actually link to the witch who asked the church for help, which is one of my favorite videos. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe, and have a great day. I'll see you again next week.